Do what you love and success will follow. Passion is the fuel behind a successful career. Meg Whiteman. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Students need career guidance to explore and plan for their future based on their individual interests, skills, and values. Participation in career guidance enhances experiences and thus improves career preparation and management.
We live in a highly competitive era where all our career choices and our efforts determine the quality of our life in the future. With this, the importance of proper career guidance and counseling cannot be overlooked.
Yes, this is what we are here for. Avenir 2021 is organized with a vision to empower and facilitate students to navigate their future and make their dreams real. Day 7 reflects interpersonal intelligence, which is related to self awareness and the ability to recognize one's strengths and weaknesses. Students having a high quotient of this intelligence can excel as researchers, philosophers, counselors, and therapists.
It's our privilege to welcome dignitaries from the Ministry of Education, Honorable Chairman, Board of Directors, Dr. Shivakumar Manikam, and other esteemed members of the Board of Directors, officials from the Indian Embassy, Mr. Alkesh Joshi, President of Indian School Alwadi Al Kabir Management Committee, and other members of the committee, all principals, vice principals, teachers, parents, and all the enthusiastic aspirants. Welcome once again.
Your hosts for this evening are Sona Saju of Class 8 and Shubham Rao of Class 11 from Indian School Al Wadi Al Kabir. Dear audience, it is our pleasure and privilege to have you all here with us on this journey of transforming your dreams into reality. You're requested to fill in the feedback form, which will be posted in the description box towards the end of the session. Filling this form is necessary as it would fetch you a participation certificate. Also, kindly post your queries in the chat box.
Today, we are honored to have with us an eminent representative, Mr. Cade Coley from Dallas Baptist University, one of our bronze sponsors, who will discuss programs and courses the university offers. Dallas Baptist University, also known as DBU, is a nationally ranked, comprehensive global university with a mission to produce servant leaders through the integration of faith and learning. It's an educational enterprise home to more than 4,300 students representing more than 60 countries around the world. Today, DBU has a variety of degrees on the undergraduate, master's, and doctoral levels. Now, let's watch a video presentation about Dallas Baptist University.
You should definitely come to DBU. You will thoroughly enjoy your experience here. I've been able to learn so much about the American culture and so much about international cultures as well. And DBU is the one place that you can do both. You can really just learn about the whole world. And that's been amazing to me.
When we are here, we are so far from family, but we are never without family because there's a new people that God put in our lives just to care about us.
Every day, DBU graduates live out their God-given callings and lifelong dreams across the world. From the moment a student sets foot on campus, our faculty and staff equip students with the right skills and knowledge needed to be successful in business and in life. Find your path, pursue your calling, start your journey today at Dallas Baptist University.
That was indeed a splendid video. Now I call upon our guest speaker for the session, Mr. Cade Coley from Dallas Baptist University. Over to you, sir, for your presentation.
All right. Thank you, guys. As they said, my name is Cade Corley. I am the Assistant Director of Global Recruitment at Dallas Baptist University, and I am so thankful to be able to speak with you guys today. And so as we get started, I want to ask you a question. Would you rather blend in or stand out? So for some people, blending into the crowd sounds great, but for others, they feel like they were born to stand out. So what about you? Would you rather blend in or stand out? If you're someone who likes to blend in, you may not have even volunteered to answer that question, and that's okay. We are all unique, and your uniqueness, your distinctiveness is what makes you beautiful, even if you don't love it when people notice. But if we're honest, this question isn't actually all that easy to answer. In some way, we want to do both at the same time. We want to blend in and stand out. We all want to be different and unique to some degree. We want to contribute to the world that no one else can. We want our lives to mean something. But at the same time, we all want to blend in. No matter how loud or weird or countercultural we want to be, we also want to fit in and be accepted. Maybe not everyone, but at least by certain people. So how do we balance these things? Is it possible to blend in and stand out? Can we be unique and accepted? And if so, how do we do that? So I want to talk to you a little bit about my life. In my life, I wanted to fit into every niche. I wanted to be friends with everybody. I wanted to be friends with the music kids. I wanted to be friends with the athletes. I wanted to be friends with the theater kids, with the really smart academia kids. I wanted to be friends with the science nerds, the history buffs, and well, you get it. I found my identity in wanting to be and needing to be liked by people. Why do you think that is? Why did I, and perhaps why do we try so hard to fit in? Maybe we don't want to stick out because we're afraid that it's going to mean getting unwanted attention. Maybe being labeled as different, or we're afraid of being mocked or attacked, of feeling vulnerable or ashamed of who we are. Of course, it's not bad to want to be friends with everybody. It's not bad to even hop on the latest fashion trend or copy our friends' favorite hobbies. But there are times, however, when the pressure to fit in is greater than our desire to be who we are and do what we were made to do. And so today we're talking about discovering your calling. I want to help you be able to discover yourself. And today I want you to see that you are distinct from any person who has ever lived. And your distinctness, your uniqueness is what is special about you. It is great news, because that distinctiveness, that uniqueness, it could be news for the whole world too. You could have an impact on the entire globe because of your uniqueness. And so when it comes to realizing our own uniqueness, I think there are a few things that we can learn as we search to discover our calling in our life. The first thing is to discover who you are not. You don't need to steal anyone else's identity or hobby or fashion style in order to have meaning or purpose. You don't have to be just like anyone else. You don't have to follow the same path in school that your parents did or that your brother and sister followed. You don't have to attend the same university or college that your parents did or that your brother or sister did. You can forge your own path. I want you to discover who you are not. And that leads me to my next point, to discover who you are. We've already established that we are all unique. We all have a distinct purpose, a purpose that you and you alone can fulfill. And I need you to hear this, and I want you to be very clear about who you are with yourself. As you discover who you are, be confident in yourself, be confident in your identity, and don't apologize for it, even if that means letting someone's expectations for you down. I have a story from my own life about this. As I was your age, as I was discovering who I was when I was in high school, I loved to travel. I loved to experience new things, to try new foods, to see new places. And I told my grandmother this. I was a freshman in college, and I told her, I think, Grandma, I want to perhaps one day move outside of the US. Perhaps one day I want to move to Europe or to Africa or to India. And she just could not fathom that idea that I wanted to leave the United States and live somewhere else. But that wasn't who I was. Staying home, staying in Texas for the rest of my life, that's not who I am. I love to travel. I love to get out and see the world. In fact, I met a girl yesterday who, similar story, her parents, they immigrated from Mexico, and her whole life they've really wanted her to become an immigration lawyer because that is what they struggle with in becoming a US citizen. And if she was able to go and help other people in similar situations like they were, then perhaps she could make an impact on the world. But she loves people, and she loves being with people. She doesn't want to, not that she doesn't care about that, but she would rather help people in higher education rather than in law. And so discover who you are, even if it means letting someone's expectations for you down. Be confident in yourself and in your identity, and discover your plan of action. We're never going to know the details of our futures. I wish that we had someone who could tell us which career path to choose, which college to choose, what groups to get involved with. How do we know ourselves? And so in order to discover our plan of action, I think that we need to look at the big picture. What are you called to do? What do you care about? All right, these next few questions, I need you to really think hard about, write them down, think about them after our conversation today. What are you called to do? What do you care about? What are you passionate about? What brings you joy? What are you curious about? I won't be able to tell you which classes to sign up for, what elective to sign up for this semester, whether you should play soccer or lacrosse, whether you're going to marry this person or that person. But I can tell you this: your confidence in who you are and who you were made to be is going to grow when you discover what you care about, when you discover what you're passionate about, when you discover what brings you joy, and when you discover what you're curious about. When it comes to realizing your own uniqueness and your own distinctness, when it comes to discovering who you are not, discovering who you are, discovering a plan of action in your life, you can gain confidence that you are making the right choice. You know, I don't know about you, but in my experience in growing up in grade school and middle school, high school, primary school, all of that, we read stories of great leaders and we try to learn from their experiences and try to learn from our history. We read about great leaders such as Alexander the Great, William the Conqueror, Gandhi, Queen Victoria, just to name a few from our past that we might find it hard at times to relate to those people. After all, it seems like they're people, they had a clear mission, a clear vision in life. They seem like people who had it all figured out, while some of us are still struggling with insecurity and self-doubt and confusion about who we are. But I need us to understand and realize that we don't have the full story. We just have bits and pieces. We have the highlights of these people's lives. We may not know about the struggles that they experienced. We may not know about the discoveries that they had, about their uniqueness, about their calling that gave them the legacy that they have today. But I have no doubt in my mind that those things existed. There isn't a person alive today who hasn't struggled to figure out their own identity in some way. That's part of our story. That's part of our journey in life. If you have ever felt the pressure to change or hide who you are, listen closely. You are all strong, beautiful, capable, and wonderful people, and you weren't designed to be just like everyone else because you are distinct. You are unique. There is pressure, especially in the high school, college age, to choose one career path and stick to it forever. But you might start out your career and discover that you hate working at a desk all day because you love interacting with people. You love being outside and you find it miserable sitting at a desk by yourself every day. And it's okay in that circumstance to seek out something different, even if you've been told to pick one occupation and stick to it. Trying new things, and hear me when I say this, trying new things is what leads to specialization. Trying new things is where you're going to find your uniqueness, and that's where you're going to find your greatness. Trying new things leads to greatness. Trying new things is a huge part of discovering your calling. On your distinct journey in life, the journey to finding out who you were created to be, it isn't always easy, but most journeys are like that. Your journey toward finding out Who you can be will take an entire lifetime because people are always changing in some way, especially at your age. So as you discover and as you continue on the journey of discovering your uniqueness and your calling and your distinctiveness, again, I want to remind you, discover who you are not. All right, you don't have to steal anyone else's identity or hobby or fashion style in order to have meaning or purpose. You don't have to be just like everyone else. You don't have to follow the same path in life and school that your parents followed or even your brother or sister or cousin followed. You can forge your own path. It's possible. Discover who you are. All right. We've already established that. We've already established that we're all unique and that you all have a unique purpose. And it's a purpose that you and you alone can fulfill. But be very clear about that. Know who you are and don't shy away from who you are. Don't apologize for it, even if it changes people's expectations. And in discovering your plan of action, remember, you're not going to know every detail of your future, but it's important. You have to know, what do you care about? What are you passionate about? What brings you joy? What are you curious about? So in wrapping up our time, how do we fit all of these things together? All right, how do we, in our short time, how can I help build your confidence in who you are so that you can grow that unique thing, that uniqueness, that distinctiveness that makes you you within you? How can we grow that? How can we strengthen it? And so I think we have to look within. I want you to do some self-reflection. What if you took some time, perhaps in the next couple of days, weeks, and months, to focus on the ways that make you distinct, that make you unique? The next couple of days, weeks, and months, focus on the things that make you distinct, the unique things about yourself that maybe you don't even like. What if you made a list? Okay, I'm going to encourage you, make a list of these things. All right, or I'm going to give you a lot of items, okay? It could be something as easy as physical traits. All right, physical traits that make you unique. Your specific hair type. Maybe you're just ridiculously tall. Maybe you're a freak athlete. Perhaps you use a wheelchair to get around. That is what makes you unique. You can use that to discover your greatness. Maybe it's your character. You have character traits, like how you find it easy to be patient with people. Maybe you're just a natural born leader. Perhaps you just tend to give really good advice to your friends, and people come to you to seek counsel when they are struggling. Your character traits. What about your skills that you have? They could be your talents, your skills, your love of writing poetry, your skill on a guitar or a piano. Perhaps it's your interest in science, math. Maybe it's your innate ability to make successful videos for social media or your YouTube channel. Maybe you are just very good at technology and your family they're always coming to you for help with IT help in the home. Perhaps it's your experiences. We all have unique experiences that have molded us into who we are today. They've shaped you. It's the family that you've grown up in. Maybe it's the difficult thing that you survived, the tragedy that happened to you when you were younger. Maybe it was just an awesome opportunity that you had. All of those things and all of those life experiences, they shape who we are. Some of those things are things that we're born with. Others are things that have developed over time, but all of them are important to who you are, and it's important to who you are not. But don't let the discovery process end there. Talk to some trusted friends and adults who know you really well. Maybe it's a school counselor, a teacher, whoever it is, someone who knows you really, really well, that they can point out the distinct things about you that maybe you have missed. Speak truth when you begin to believe the lie that your distinctiveness and your uniqueness is not important, is not beautiful, is not lovable, because sometimes we lose sight of all the things that make us unique. Maybe we never took time to identify those things in the first place, but instead of finding peace and purpose in the distinctive ways in which we are designed, sometimes we feel pressure to conform. We feel pressure to hide and change who we are in order to please people. I know that I have in my past. So in the coming days, weeks, and months, if those feelings start to creep in, let me remind you that you are strong, you are beautiful, you are capable and wonderful people, and you were not designed to be just like everyone else, because you are unique and you are distinct and you have purpose and meaning in this life. You're on a journey to discovering your calling, and you weren't designed to be just like everyone else. And so here's the big idea that I want to leave you with. Your uniqueness sets you apart. And maybe it's just the stepping stone that you need to find the perfect career that fits you. And so, as I close our time here, allow me to invite you to discover your calling at Dallas Baptist University. All right, DBU is a nationally ranked, comprehensive, Christ-centered global university with a mission to produce servant leaders through the integration of faith and learning. All right, we're home to more than 4,200 students representing over 60 countries around the world. And at DBU, you will discover a community of leaders whose heart is to care for others while teaching in a myriad of academic disciplines. We embrace the premise that all God's truth is truth, and we seek knowledge to make a bold impact in the world as transformers and changers of cultures. DBU, Dallas Baptist University, also has one of the lowest costs among Christian colleges in the U.S., and its location in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex gives students numerous internship and career opportunities. And so we would love to be the university that allows you to explore the qualities that you have that set you apart from the crowd as you continue on the journey of finding the perfect career in your life. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. It was truly an enriching and empowering session. Sir, may I request you to answer a few queries which have been raised by our valued audience?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. May I now request the moderator to put forth the questions posed by the audience?
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well.
Yes, yes. The first question you asked us was, would you like to be outstanding or would you blend in? I think most of us would like to be outstanding, but most of us even fear the idea of being judged. So
Yeah.
how do we avoid or ignore the social pressure and follow our own passion?
Yeah, no, that's a very great question. For me, I would just encourage you to, in the process of discovering who you are, is to really just be confident in yourself. Again, like I said, I had that encounter with my grandmother when I was younger, and I told her that I wanted to travel. I told her I wanted to see the world, and she just didn't understand that. But that was something that I think is just, I was born with. I was born with this sense of adventure. And I would be lying to myself, and I would be doing myself a disservice, a dishonor, if I did not pursue that, if I did not allow myself to seek that adventure, if I did not allow myself to experience those things. And so you have to, in this journey of discovering yourself, you've got to be confident in who you are. And that's part of the discovering who you're not. Because again, the fear of people judging us, well, they're judging us for who they think that we should be, not for who we are. And so we have to discover who we're not in order to know with 100%, no doubt, have full confidence in who we are.
True, true. I completely agree with you. What's the best performance or what's the best performance you had in your career life so far?
The best performance that I've had? That's a great question.
Have you even thought about it?
Yeah, I haven't even thought about it. You know, I've had so many opportunities to speak to many groups of people, typically who are younger, who are high school age, and I think those events, those moments when I get to really speak with them, and even in one-on-one in a smaller group setting where we go to a coffee shop or a restaurant where they begin to ask me questions, and I can see that there is an impact in their life, that there is a distinctiveness, a uniqueness that sets them apart from other people in their life. it's in those moments that I think I cherish the most. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily a specific event, a specific thing that has happened, but it's the relationships that I've built along the way, the relationships with people. Again, for me, I have to have a balance that, because I have struggled in the past with wanting everybody to approve of me and to like me. And so in that, being able to have confidence in myself, I know who I am. And so, and not get caught up in people liking me, but be confident in the message who I am that I have to bring to the table. Does that help? Does that answer that question?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. My next question to you is, most of us choose our professions or we choose our pathway of career, but later in life you realize, okay, I'm not meant for this. So is it okay for us to change whenever you realize?
Yeah. And that is the answer is yes, it is okay to change. And that's really scary.
Yeah.
That brings a lot of fear, thinking I've worked so hard for this my entire life. And yet here I am changing careers. I have a friend who in fact did that. He went through, his undergraduate with this mission all through high school and through his undergrad at college. I'm going to be a doctor. He went through medical school, became a doctor, and he was a doctor for a few years. And he realized, this doesn't bring me joy. I don't actually enjoy this, what I'm doing. And now he took the bold step to move out of that career and enter into a new career. And now he's the vice president of a very successful commercial insurance company. Two completely different changes, but one brings him joy, whereas the other one doesn't. And so I would say, yes, it is. But I would also like to point out that in doing so, that is where you're going to find that greatness. That's where you're going to find that uniqueness. That's where you're going to find the thing that really brings you joy, that where you finally feel like you fit in. And like, this is what you were called to do. This is the career that you were created, made to do, that you were born to do. Some people find it earlier in life, and sometimes it takes a little while. And I think that's perfectly acceptable. I know and have read many stories of people who they didn't actually get their master's or undergraduate degree or PhD until they were in their 30s. Sometimes I think we have this idea that we have to get it all figured out, and by the time we're 25, we need to have our PhDs and we need to be ready to go and work in this field. But I think it is okay for us to understand every person is unique and different, and we all have our own story. We're all on our own journey, and it's okay that I might not get my PhD till I'm 40, whereas I have a friend who got his when he was 25, and is working in his field, and I'm working in mine. That's just, an example, but I think it's perfectly acceptable, perfectly okay. It's not the norm and it's countercultural, but it absolutely is acceptable.
Yes, and I think we should also stop comparing ourselves with everyone, because if one has completed his PhD at 25 and you're completing yours at 40, that's completely fine.
Yes.
We should absolutely accept that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, coming back to Dallas Baptist University.
Yeah.
Once we complete our graduation there, do we all provide job placements?
So at Dallas Baptist University, once you have gotten your degree, we have career services that definitely help you in that process of getting you connected, perhaps with internships in downtown Dallas and downtown Fort Worth, because we are in a metroplex in a huge area. There is a plethora of jobs and opportunities there. And so we definitely help you out in that process. Of course, being international, you have to go through the government with visas and things like that. But we have connections and we have alumni and opportunities that we can get you hooked up with and connected with, so that hopefully you can begin to fulfill your calling, perhaps here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area.
All right. The next question is, can the students do they have the option to work and study on campus? Is there an option like that?
Yes, there is. Yeah, we have some work study options. Again, you have to apply for them and get approved for them. Also, Dallas Baptist is very unique in that we have it's what's called student worker position, where you can apply to become a student worker, where you work on campus. So I work in our international admissions department, and I have a student worker who is on my team, who works for me, and she's a freshman here at DBU. So it's not like you have to be a upperclassman. You can get this position if you're qualified, and you apply. And so there's many opportunities, which this isn't just like a normal, this is like an entry-level job. I mean, as a student worker, you get worked, and we expect you to work hard and put in the effort. And so it builds great experience and great resume building opportunities as a student worker. Plus our we have a few work study programs that you could get approved for. So
at the end, it's all about the experience.
Yes,
Yeah?
yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. The next question is, do the students have to give an entrance exam test before they enroll to Dallas Baptist University?
Yes, they do. There is the regular entrance exams, SAT, ACT, for undergraduate, all of that. With COVID right now, they might be being waived, but yes, typically you will need to provide some testing scores, just the standardized test
English.
that most, and English.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you don't speak English, then you'll have to provide English test scores. We also offer an intensive English program that you could come do. One for communication, so one to learn the English language, but then also one that is geared toward academics. So you'll take this, you'll get some academic credit, and then it'll be also easier to get accepted and get into Dallas Baptist University to attend our school.
Thank you so much for all the information you have given and for such an eye-opening session.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you, sir. We are truly grateful for your relevant, valued, and patient answers to all our queries. I'm sure the participants are enlightened and have got a true picture about the prospects available for them at your esteemed organization. Attendees, to remember to fill in the feedback form. As we have come to an end of this session, I reckon it a privilege to put my gratitude into words. On behalf of Indian School Al-Wadi Al-Kabir, the organizing team, and the entire audience, let me first express our profound gratitude to His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq Al Said for the magnanimous benevolence showered on the Indian diaspora in the Sultanate of Oman. May the Almighty shower abundant blessings on His Majesty and this peaceful and prosperous country of our residents. We extend sincere thanks to our eminent speaker, Mr. Cade Corley from Dallas Baptist University. Thank you, sir. The session was truly informative and enlightening. It has opened up new vistas in front of us. Our deepest sense of appreciation and gratitude to Dr. Shivakumar Manikum, Chairman, Board of Directors, Indian Schools in Oman, and other honorary members on the Board of Directors. Thank you for your encouraging presence and guidance at all times. Our heartfelt thanks to Mr. Alkesh Joshi, the Honorary President, and other members of Indian School Wadi Kabir Management Committee, Mr. D.N. Rao, Principal of ISWK, Principals of the School of MENA Regions, Indian Schools in Oman, vice principals, and the entire teaching fraternity for their support and guidance.
We are indeed grateful to our platinum sponsors, StudyCo, our gold sponsors, Jain Group of Institutions, Grey Matter Academics, Velo Institute of Technology, Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education, our bronze sponsors, Middle East College Oman, Thapar Institute of Engineering and Technology, Dallas Baptist University, MIT World Peace University Pune, our media sponsor, The Arabian Stories, and our digital marketing partner, Spectrum. I wish to thank each and every student and parent for their valuable presence in making this session of our Global Career Fair Avenue 2021 a grand event. An event of this kind requires the coordination of a committed team. My earnest and heartfelt thank you to the ISWK team behind the scene working tirelessly and making Avenue 2021 a tangible reality. Signing off from this session are your compares Shubham and Sona. Thank you all. See you soon for the next session tomorrow.